Good morning students. Today we'll be continuing the same chapter, that is internal trade, and today we are going to learn about retail trade and its features. Okay, so what is retail trade, students? Retail trade refers to that trade which purchases goods from wholesalers or manufacturers and sell them directly to the ultimate consumers. Okay, and the salient features of the retail trade are source of purchase, that means retail trade purchases goods from wholesalers and manufacturers. Then it has volume of purchase, that means retail trade purchases goods in small quantity. Okay, and then it comes to customers, that ultimate customers are the customers of the retail trade, that is to stay retail trade sells goods to the ultimate consumers. Okay, then come to the variety of goods, retail trade deals in large variety of goods. Okay, then come to location, that means retail trade is generally carried on near the place of the ultimate consumers. Okay, and it has a direct contact, means there is a direct contact between the trader and the ultimate consumers in retail trade. Okay students, so now come to the functions of retailers. So every retailer has to perform a few important functions relating to marketing of goods. Okay, these are the functions, that buying and assembling. Okay, they have to assemble the goods after estimation of demand. The retailers procures different types of goods from various sources and assemble them in their own shop or godown. Okay, then they have the warehousing and storing, where the retailers make arrangement for holding stock of various types of goods for meeting the requirements of the ultimate consumers continuously. Okay, then come to selling of goods, that means after procurement of goods on the basis of estimated demand, the retailers sell them to the ultimate consumers according to their requirement. Okay, then come to the credit facility. So sometimes the retailers sell goods to the consumers on credit. Besides, they make arrangement also for reaching the goods sold to the consumer's residence. Okay, then come to grading and packing. Okay, so that means the goods purchased from the wholesalers or manufacturers are not already graded. The retailers make arrangement for grading them according to their quality. Okay, then they also have the collection and supply market information, that means the retailers inform the consumers about the goods which are available in the market. As a result, the consumers can select the goods according to their choice. Okay, then come to that it helps in introducing new products also. The retailers inform the consumers about new products, their using procedures, qualities, etc. Okay, and again they provide useful information to the wholesalers and manufacturers regarding the expectation of the customers, their taste, choice, preference, fashion, etc. Okay, after that, window display and advertisement. So that means they provide information to their consumers through window display or advertising their products. They also have the risk bearing factors, that the retailers bear different types of risks such as fall in market price, loss and damage of goods, change in taste and preferences of the customers, etc. Okay, now come to services to retailers. So the services of retailers may be discussed from the viewpoint of consumers and wholesalers and manufacturers, because they provide many useful services to them. Okay, so according to services to customer, there are supply of consumer goods, that means the retailers satisfy the want of the consumers by supplying different types of consumer goods according to their demand. Okay, then it has providing information about new product. So if a new product is introduced in the market, the retailers provide significant information about the product to the consumers. Okay, then it has informing about different types of goods, that means the retailers inform the consumers about the goods which are available in the market. Then it also has assisting in selection of goods. So the retailers keep stock of varieties of goods. They assist the customers in selection of proper goods out of this stock. Okay, then it has ensuring supply of goods. So the retailers store different types of goods needed by the consumers, so the consumers need not to store them because they can procure goods according to their requirement. Then supplying fresh goods. Okay, the retailers do not keep stock of huge amount of goods. They supply goods to the consumers according to their demand after purchasing them. Okay, then home delivery also available there because some retailers provide free home delivery services to their customers. Then it also provide after sale service. That means big retailers provide after sale services for durable goods like TV, AC, motor car, etc. to their customers. Okay, then it has credit facility. Sometimes the retailers sell goods on credit to their regular and reputed customers. Okay, then now come to services to wholesalers and manufacturers. It provides information. The retailers inform the manufacturers and wholesalers about the change in demand, taste, preference, okay, of the customers. Then it also has gradation and classification of goods. So the retailers help the wholesalers and manufacturers by performing the function of gradation and classification of goods on the basis of their qualities. Okay, then come to risk sharing. The retailers share risk with the manufacturers and wholesalers by keeping stock of their product. Okay, thus they help the wholesalers and manufacturers to reduce the burden of risk. Now personal selling. So that means the sale of consumer goods requires personal selling efforts. The retailers relieve the manufacturers from such efforts by introducing their products with the consumers. Okay, they also help in sale promotion in order to increase the volume of sale. Okay, and it also help in distribution of goods. That means the most important service provided by the retailers to the wholesalers and manufacturer is the distribution of their goods among large number of customers. Okay, and they help in demand forecasting also. The retailers have direct link with the consumers, so they can help the wholesalers and the manufacturers to forecast demand of the consumers. Now come to itinerant retailers. That means the retailers who have no definite selling point and who sell their goods by visiting various places are called itinerant retailers. Okay, that means those retailers who do not have a fixed place or fixed shop for doing business and who move from one place to another in search of customers for selling goods, like peddlers, cheap jacks, street vendors, etc. Okay, students. So itinerant retailers are mainly of four types. Okay, first one is hawkers. So hawkers refers to all those itinerant retailers who move with their goods from door to door and street to street for selling them. Okay, the second one is market traders. It is also said to be periodic market traders, as it refers to all those itinerant retailers who open their shops at different places on fixed days in a week or in a month. Okay, so there are many periodic market traders who open their shops at Mangala Hart of Howrah on Tuesday in every week. Okay, so that is the example of periodic market traders. Okay, now come to the third, that is street traders. Okay, so street traders are also called pavement vendors. That means it refers to all those retailers who sell their goods near the busy places like railway stations, bus stands, cinema halls, etc. Okay, that are temporarily. Okay, now come to cheap jacks. Okay, cheap jacks refer to all those itinerant retailers who carry on their business in a rented shop or in tents for a temporary period in different localities. They do not stay long at one place. Okay, when the opportunity of earning profit at a particular place gets diminished, they immediately change their place of trade. Okay, so that are the main four types of itinerant retailers. Now come to the advantages of itinerant trade. Okay, there are two types of advantages from the viewpoint of traders and from the viewpoint of the customers. So first we will discuss from the viewpoint of the traders, that is easy formation. Okay, so it is very easy to form this type of trade because no legal formality is required for it, and it has a small capital. A very small amount of capital is required for such trade. Then it has no fixed place is required. No particular place or fixed shop is required for this type of trade. Then the next advantage is free from place restriction. That means in the case the traders sell goods by moving from street to street, they can enter into any place, so such trade is free from place restriction. Okay, and it also has the advantage of no risk of bad debt. That means there is no risk of bad debt in this type of trade, because in this case goods are mostly sold in cash. Now come to the advantages from the viewpoint of the consumers. Okay, so it consists of fresh products. That means the consumers get fresh products through such trade, because in this case the traders do not store a huge quantity of goods. Okay, then it has low price. In this case the traders charge lower prices for their goods because of absence of fixed operating costs like salary, rent, insurance, etc. So the consumers can buy goods at lower prices. Okay, then bargaining. Okay, so the consumers can bargain for buying goods also, that is one more advantage. Then it has saving in time. The consumers get supply of goods at their doorstep through such trade. Okay, so it saves their time. Then the last one is gratification of consumption. That means the consumers get consumer goods of daily use like fruits, vegetables, fish, etc. through such trade. Okay, so this trade helps the consumers to satisfy their consumption. Got it, students? Now come to the disadvantages or limitations of itinerant trade. Okay, so first one is hindrance in creation of permanent customers. So what that means, students? That means the itinerant traders cannot create permanent customers because of lack of particular place of trade or fixed shop. Okay, then second one is satisfaction of limited demand. That means the itinerant traders deal in a few goods, so they cannot fulfill all types of demand of the customers. Then next one is problem in selection of goods. That means only a few goods are available with the itinerant traders, so the customers face a problem in selection of goods. Then it comes for problem of bargaining. There are many customers who do not like to buy goods from such traders because of the problem of bargaining. Okay, then the last one is non-branded products. So the itinerant traders mostly sell non-branded and local products, so there is a doubt about the qualities of their products. Okay, now come to fixed shop retailers. So the retailers who have a fixed shop for carrying out businesses activities are called fixed shop retailers. Okay, and this fixed shop retail trade can be classified into two categories, such as small scale fixed retail shops and large scale fixed retail shops. Okay, so the small scale fixed retail shops includes street stalls. Okay, so street shops refers to all those stalls which are located at street crossing or in the busy street. Okay, and the main features of this type of shop are it is the size of this shops is very small, and we can say most of these shops are well decorated. Here the goods are displayed on sand tables, etc., and they are operated with a very small amount of capital. Okay, for example, they deal in a wide variety of low price articles like toys, cigarettes, cold drinks, magazines, etc. Then the small scale retail also includes general stores. So it refers to all those fixed shops which are set up in residential areas with large variety of products for meeting day-to-day needs of the local people. Okay, and the main features of this type of stores are that these stores are found in crowded areas like colonies. Okay, they deal in a variety of goods of daily use like grocery items, confectionery, stationery, soft drinks, etc. They provide home delivery also, credit facility and other services to their regular customers. They have a personal relationship with most of the customers. Okay, then come to the next shop, that will be specialty shops. Okay, so the shops which specialize in sale of a special product under one product line, that are called specialty shops. Okay, and the main features of specialty shops that they are generally located at central places for attracting a large number of customers. They specialize in the sale of a specific line of products. For example, ready-made garment stores for selling ladies garments. Okay, furniture marts for selling furniture, furniture, shoe mart, boot mart for selling shoes, okay, stationery shop for selling books and stationaries, okay. So like that, and they generally deal in branded products, okay, and generally such shops are becoming very common popularly in urban areas, okay students. Now come to large scale fixed retail shops, okay. So the large scale fixed retail shops refer to all those retail shops which carry on their business on a large scale with large stocks of variety of goods for selling directly to the customers, okay. And the main features of these shops are that they establish with large amount of capital, they are large in size, okay, and they are located at the important places of the cities or in markets, okay, and they keep a large stock of goods, okay. And there are different types of this large scale fixed retail shops. They are departmental stores, multiple shops, okay, that is also called chain shops, okay. That after that, mail order business houses are there, automatic vending machines are also there are hire purchase and installment system, recent developments that are web marketing and e-commerce and teleshopping, okay. So that is the features, that are the types of large scale fixed retail shops, okay. So that's all for today's class. I have given you some questions related to the topic. Just do it in your copy and submit it in the given mail ID. Thank you all of you.